G'day viewers, I'm Nook, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a top-down game. This could be part 1 of 2. So in this part I'm going to be showing you how to control your player and how to create your tile maps and that kind of stuff. The second part will then feature how to do your animations, how to also add in collisions and things like that. So these two parts are intertwined, and part 2 will probably be released 3 days from now. So hopefully you guys enjoy the video, and let's dig in. Alright, so we're going to start off by creating a new game, yeah? And you're going to choose the 2D tile set. For the purposes of this video, we're just going to use the Unity asset store, find some free assets. So yeah, we're going to go in, look for 2D and characters and find a top-down character and also a tile map. So yeah, you can choose any free one or make your own, and I'll cut right back once I have one. So after a bit of looking around, I found this one. It's got my character animations, which we'll use, and also our tile maps. So you can just download this and get started in Unity. So now all we want to do is just create a tile map, so 2D objects, tile map just here, and our tile map has been created. So now we want to go to Window, 2D and Tile Palette here, and we need to create a new palette, so we'll just name this main level. Hit create, and we'll just place it here. And now we should, it's not what we want, we should just be able to drag that into here. And we'll select folder. I need to come here and change this to this 100 to 16, otherwise it won't be scaled very well. And then we'll just wait for that. Alright. So now you can use this tile set to create any kind of map or anything. I'm going to just quickly make something up and bring you back when I'm done. Alright, here we are. So I've just created a basic, background tile map. Now you're going to also have to create a tile map that goes over the top of that, that the player can interact with. So you'll have one where there's maybe trees or something, and you have the player could collide with that tree. So that could include trees, houses, and things like that. And then you'll have also probably a third tile map, or even a fourth, that does different things. Like, for example, there was a acid lake in that tile map. If you want to use that, you're probably going to have to use a third or fourth tile map in order to have that separate to the tree. So I'll quickly make those and bring you back once I have. Alright, so I'm going to do the same thing for the orange tree here. We're going to click on it, set it to single, set it to 16 pixels per unit, and hit apply. Now we should be able to just go Window, 2D tile palette, and just drag that one into the tile palette. And as you can see, we can now just place that around here, and probably not over our tree, but yeah, I think that's good. Alright, so now the next step is creating our player and player movements as well. So right now we just want to throw one of our player sprites into our map so that we can begin to program its movements and things like that. So just select one of them. It doesn't really matter. It's going to end up being animated later. So just plop that in there. And one issue that we're going to notice is that it's not right-sided. So we're just going to select, go to our player that we put in and set that to 16. pixels per unit, and hit apply. So as you can see, the player is there, and we can move that around. And so right now, we want to put the order and layout to 10. I like to do that so that then I can have it always above everything, because you want to be able to see the player. Alright, so now we want to drag the main camera and make it a child of the player. That way the camera will always follow the player. We then want to come down here and we want an animator on our player, because we'll need to animate it later. And we also want to create a script, so we'll call it player controller, something along those lines. It doesn't really matter what you call it, and we want to go create an ad. Alright, so you just want to open up your script, and the first thing you want to do is delete the start method, and we're going to create a couple of variables to get started. So we're going to go public float movement speed. The public will allow us to change it within the Unity, and then this will obviously be our movement speed. And we want to go private bool and moving. This will come into play later, and you'll see where it's used. And we also want to go private, probably vector 3 input, not like that. The 3 and together with the vector. That's just from Unity game engine, has that like pre-built into it. We'll go down here and go private animator. We'll deal with the rest of the animation stuff later. For now, let's just get to coding in the movements. And the first thing we want to go is creating this statement. So we're going to go if moving is equal to false. So if it's not moving, we want to be accepting input from the player. So we want to have input x equals input get axis raw. So this will basically find out whether you're moving the arrow keys or not, basically horizontal, and we put those semicolon there, and we can just copy this down, change this to vertical here. Instead of horizontal, we want to be getting our vertical axis, and input y. So now once we're in this if statement, we want to come down and go, if there is an input, if the player gives an input, so our input of vector 3 is not 0, we want to start moving basically. So we're going to go moving equals true. This will stop it from running through it again. And then we're going to have vector 3 target position equals transform dot position, and then we want to go target position dot x is equal to what it was, so is equal to transform position plus our input of x if we have an input of x. And then we want to come down and basically do the exact same thing for if we have y, if we have an input of y, sorry. And then we come down a little bit more, animator.set float. So this is obviously for our animations. You don't want to have that variable. As I said, I would go back to them later, but we might as well put them in now. Make that a string, because this is basically going to appear when you're making your animations. It will just make it clearer that, yeah, this is what your animation is for, and then we're just going to have input.y. So that'll be between -1 and 1, and then you're just going to do the same thing for if you have an x. So we're just going to change that y there to an x, and that y there to an x as well. And then we also need to activate another not function, but method. So we're going to go start coroutine. I can't speak, but and then we're going to name our method is going to be called movement, and we're going to send it the target position vector 3. Okay, so now let's come down below our update method, I should say. So we're going to use I don't know how to pronounce this, but basically what this will do is it will run over a period of time, it's basically what you want. You don't want your player to just be jumping all over the place. You want it to, move slowly to its position so that it doesn't it doesn't give you a seizure or anything like that. So again, we are going vector 3, and we're taking that target position, which was up above, and we are then going to create this function. Okay, so in here, we're going to go while. We're going to create a while loop. So we're going to go vector 3 magnitude. So we're going to take the magnitude of the difference between target position and the transform position. And when that is greater than just a really, really small number, this function is going to occur. And then we're going to go float step. So we're creating this here is basically how long it's going to take to move. So we're going to take our movement speed, which we defined above, and multiply that by time. And then we're going to go transform position. So where our player character is going to move to, and we're going to use a method from vector 3 here, move towards, and you're going to have transform position, and then we're going to have our target position, and we're going to use our step variable, which we just created. And then we're going to have yield return none. That'll just clean it up and all that stuff. It's just a bit required there. And then you're going to come down and just go moving equals false, so that it can now run through the method, the update again. So we can, this if will run through again. Now we have to do our animators. So we're going to come here. We don't need that. We know not what update does. And we're just going to go private void awake. So this is a pre-made Unity method. And then we're just going to go animator equals get component. And the component we are going to be getting, it's going to be our animator component. And that's a method. And then that's it. And so that should, that should work. Let's go test it out in Unity and see if it does. A couple minor things that I noticed straight away when I jumped into Unity, because it just didn't work, was that up here, where is it? Up here, this has to be a capital I. And then you also need to have input as vector 2, because you can't take obviously 3-dimensional vectors. That's not something that it can take. It has to convert into that vector 3. And then there was just a typo down here as well. I think it was here. It said movement speed, and it needed to be movement. Otherwise, yeah, let's jump back into Unity and I'll show you it working, hopefully. Alright, so I jumped into Unity and I realized that I'd accidentally put my animator and my player controller method on the camera and not the player. So that's one thing. So let's just change that real quick. And then we will add that one, and then we'll add also the animator, right? Yeah. Alright, so now let's test this out and see if it works. Yep, seems to be working as I expected it to. Obviously, we haven't put colliders in, so we can go straight over the trees, and we also haven't put our animations in. So this is part 1 of part 2. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. So part 2 will be posted there when it is posted, so 3 days from now. And subscribe. If you did like the video, it mean a lot to me. If you did subscribe, if you also hit that like button, that would help out heaps. So consider doing that. Really help out. You have no idea. And thanks for watching.